And it happened, after that Alexander the Greek, who came out of the land of Chedum, had killed Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, and reigned as the first king over Greece. Before his death, he parted his kingdom between 4 generals, Lysimachus, Cassander, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. They all put crowns upon themselves, and evils were multiplied throughout the earth. And there came out of them a wicked ruler, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes. In those days, wicked men out of Israel persuaded others, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow." And they forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves unto the heathens. As the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, to have dominion over 2 realms. He made war against the Ptolemaic Empire, took the strong lands, and made great spoils thereof. After Antiochus destroyed Egypt, he set his eyes on Jerusalem. Antiochus came to Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof. And when he had taken all away, having made a great massacre, therefore there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were. Moreover, King Antiochus sent letters throughout his whole kingdom, saying,
"All should be one people, and everyone should follow the laws of the land."
And many of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had forbidden the daily sacrifices and burnt offerings, and wrote that they should pollute the sanctuary, and set up idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, to the end that they might forget the law and change the ordinances. In those days arose Mattathias the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest who dwelt in Modim, and he had 5 sons, Johanan, Simon, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, and Jonathan. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said,
"Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers? Her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?"
Meanwhile, the king sent officers to the hometown of Mattathias in land of Modin to compel the Jews to make sacrifices. And the officer spoke to Mattathias and said,
"You're a great ruler and an honorable man in this city. Now come first and fulfill the king's commandment, like all the heathen have done."
Then Mattathias answered with a loud voice,
"Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, we will not hearken to the king's words, to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left."
Mattathias left from speaking these words. Another Jew stepped forward in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, according to the king's commandment. When Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled, and he slew him upon the altar. Also, the king's officer and he pulled down the altar. Then Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying,
"Whosoever is zealous of the law, and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me."
So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they ever had in the city. Under the leadership of Mattathias and his sons, a militant resistance rose up against the forces of the Seleucid Empire. They lead raids against their enemies and tore down altars to idols throughout the cities of Judea. But as Mattathias' time grew near, he gathered his 5 sons and prepared to pass the leadership into their hands. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead. Judas stepped in and proved himself capable of carrying his father's legacy, insomuch that his fame grew across the lands. The wicked shrunk for fear of him, and more armies were sent against him, only to be broken. But the forces of Antiochus fell further into disarray. But Judas set his eyes on the greatest victory of all, the recovery and restoration of Jerusalem.
Let us go up and cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
The people were scattered, and the temple was left desolate and polluted with pagan decorations and overgrown weeds. And when they saw it, they rent their clothes, cast ashes on their head, and made great lamentations. Judas appointed priests who had pleasure in the law, who cleaned the temple and rebuilt the altar according to the law, and made up the sanctuary and hallowed the courts. New holy vessels were made for the sanctuary. The lamps were lit again, and sacrifices were offered to the God of their fathers. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed, and hanged doors upon them. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with joy and gladness.